Alright, on today's video, we have got another unboxing, or in this case, we could call it an unbagging video. Now obviously, if you look at the case, you know what's inside here is a Taurus. And the reason I bought this, I'll give you a little backstory. There's a few reasons I bought it. I shied away from Taurus for years, just because at one point, Taurus's quality was pretty bad. A lot of people didn't like them, and I kind of was going off of what I was hearing other people say about them. Then I bought the Taurus TX22 competition. And if you watch the channel, you know that this is one of my favorite guns in my collection. I've done tons of videos on this. This gun's got over 2,500 rounds through it now. I have shot it in steel challenge competitions, and I just absolutely love this gun. Now, back about 6 months ago, someone loaned a Taurus G3C to the channel for me to do a review and an unboxing on. At first, when I was doing the tabletop review, I didn't really like the gun because of the trigger, but then once I got it out to the range and I started shooting it, I fell in love with that gun. And that's how I ended up with what's in this bag. So let's get this opened up and I'll show you everything inside. Now the first thing you notice with this is a really nice bag. And it's got an FDE color to it. Unzips all the way around. And we open it up. And this is what you're presented with. Now let's start up here in the top. You get this coupon. You can save $30 on a Viridian laser, and Viridian does make very good products and lasers. End up getting it for $65 if you choose to use it. On this side, you can get the G3 qualifier holster. You save $10 on it. And you can get this an inside the waistband or outside the waistband in right or left hand. And it is made by Tactical. So that's really cool. You also get the limited lifetime warranty card. You got to go online to activate this. You have 30 days from the purchase date. And then you have the user manual. This covers the G3 and the G3C. And these are very nice manuals, full color, and got 43 pages worth of stuff in this book. Nice manual. That's everything up here in the top. Let's get into this bag. This is really, really nice. So I'm going to get the gun out of here first, get it out of the way. Now as you can see, it's all strapped down. The muzzle goes down into this pouch here. Then you got a Velcro strap put around the grip on the frame. So we're just going to take this out. We'll set it back here and we'll get into everything that comes in this. Now this gun does come with 2 magazines. One is already in the firearm, and we have an extra mag in this pouch here, and these are 17 round mags. Some people are going to complain, oh, it only came with 2, it should have come with 3. But the nice thing with Taurus is, Taurus's mags are a lot cheaper compared to a lot of other factory mags from other companies. Buying magazines for this is not going to be like having to go buy a mag for a SIG, where it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. Now these mags are made in Brazil, and they are clearly marked 9mm caliber on it. Now up here in this pouch, they've got the cable lock. Now this is also a really nice extra that comes with the gun. This is a spring if you're going to run suppressed. So this was just like the Walther PDP Pro. It does come with 2 different recoil springs. And they are captured guide rods. This is really nice. It does come with an empty chamber indicator. Now when I picked this up at the gun store, it was in the gun. I took it out because I wanted to test the trigger and everything on it before I bought it. Alright, so now even though it only came with 2 mags, you do get an extra pouch here. If you want to buy a 3rd mag, you can carry 2 mags in these 2 pouches and 1 in the gun. The last thing in here is in this pouch. We're not going to get into this in detail yet. This pouch contains all of your red dot adapter plates. We're going to dive into that in a minute. Alright, now let's get into the firearm. Let's get this out of the bag. And what we have here is the Taurus G3 Tactical. And this does have the Taurus system on it. Now what the Taurus stands for is Taurus Optic Ready Option. And as you can see here on the top, this is optic ready. Alright, let's open this up and we're going to go over the plate options that we get with the Taurus system. Now, as you can see in this bag, we have got, it looks like 8 different size mounting screws in here and the Allen wrench. And this plate system kind of reminds you of Canic. They are numbered. Let's go over which each optic plate number covers. So this is plate number 1. Plate number 1 covers the Dr. Vortex footprint. Now this is probably the 2nd most popular mounting solution. Then we have the number 2 plate. The number 2 plate is the most popular mounting option. This is the RMR plate. This will cover all your Trijicons, all your Holosuns, all your Swamp Fox, and a lot of other budget optic companies are now doing their dots in the RMR footprint. ADE is using RMR now. The number 3 plate is probably going to be the least popular of the plates. This is the Seymour footprint plate. This one doesn't get used very often. And our 4th plate is the Leupold Delta Point plate. Now this obviously covers the Leupold Delta Point Pro and some of the SIG optics that have the Delta Point footprint. Now while we're talking about the Toro mounting system, let's talk about the sights that come on this gun. This does have very tall suppressor height sights on it. Now, I'm not a real big fan of these. They are completely blacked out in the rear and the front, and everything just kind of blends together. Now some people like that. I'm not a fan of it, but I will be running an optic on this gun, and I'm not that concerned about it. But if you do want to just use the suppressor height sights and not do an optic, or you want better sights so you can co-witness through the dot with some color or fiber optic up here in the front, this is Glock sight compatible. So if you know anything about sights, there are hundreds of options for Glock sights. Alright, let's get into this slide. Now this slide is Cerakoted, and this color is called Patriot Brown. The barrel on this is stainless steel. It does have DLC coating. It is a 4.5 inch barrel, has a 1 in 10 twist rate. It is threaded, and this has the 1/2 by 28 threads. Now, as far as I know, the tactical model only comes with the FDE colored frame, and this is a full-size frame. Your length on this frame is 7.76 inches. Your height is 5.38 inches, and your width is 1.20 inches. This gun weighs 25.8 ounces unloaded. The G3 Tactical also has a loaded chamber indicator, and you do have the 1913 accessory rail on this. Let me put a Streamlight TLR1 on here. show you what it looks like. There's what it looks like with the Streamlight TLR1 HL on it. The last thing we want to get into is the trigger. Like I said, a while back I tested the G3C, and when I was doing the unboxing video here in the studio, I will admit I did not like the trigger. But it changed once I got it out to the range. Now here's what a lot of people don't like. Now there is a lot of take-up. You can see how much take-up there is. Now it's not gritty. It's a very smooth take-up, but there's a lot of it there. But a very crisp break. But what I did like about it once I got it out to the range was the reset. It resets right there. So it's got a really super nice reset. Now I have a tendency to ride the reset on a trigger anyway. And I think that's why I liked it so much once I got it out to the range and started shooting the G3C. Because as soon as I let that off, I was pulling the trigger. I was not letting it go all the way out. Now the other thing with these triggers, they do have the restrike capability. I don't care about that. Normally if I were to have a light primer strike or a failure to fire, the first thing I'm going to do is rack it again. But the capability is there. If you fire nothing, you can let it off and you can keep doing that over and over again. One thing we didn't talk about with these magazines, there is like a sleeve on this. So if you put this in here, kind of looks goofy sticking out of the gun the way it does. With the sleeve on, that 17 round mag looks really nice in there. Now you also will notice the G3 Tactical has no manual safeties on it, which I love. It does have the trigger safety. You cannot fire that without getting your finger on that trigger and on that trigger safety. Now speaking of the trigger, let's get the wheeler out here and let's get a trigger pull weight on this. Alright, we broke at just a little over 5.5 pounds. Let's do it one more time. That time we broke about 5.25 pounds. Now let's try it with the restrike. And there you're right at 6 pounds. Now as far as the trigger goes, I like the feel of the trigger. The weight on it doesn't bother me. But there are a couple aftermarket companies out there that make triggers for these. I think Galloway Precision is one of them. But I want to shoot it for a little while with this trigger in it, because now that I've seen how slim it actually is, I might put this into my carry rotation. And before we wrap up the video, I'll show you what the inside of the frame looks like. Now I look down in here and the magazine release is reversible, so I will be able to switch that over since I'm left-handed. The slide release is not ambidextrous. That's alright. And your slide, this is the inside of the slide. So there you have it. That is the unboxing video of the Taurus G3 Tactical. And in the next video, we'll get this out to the range. We're going to test it out with iron sights we'll do a third video with the optic. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.